Straight ahead on 12 News, preparing your kids for daylight saving time. Why losing an hour doesn't have to mean losing sleep. Plus, how this winter has taken a toll on blood donations. But first, today's snowfall may have frustrated drivers, but it also produced this heartwarming story.
He just jumped right in and did it. And big smile and laughing and loving every second of it.
12 News starts right now.
Hello and thanks for joining us. First snow, then Wednesday comes the cold.
And you can bet auto body shops will be busy after this morning. Tuesday's snowfall contributed to 111 crashes during the morning Metro-wide commute. 13 of them involved injuries, and that includes a state trooper hit on I-494 in South St. Paul. That trooper suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Overall, we had 2.7 inches of snow as measured in New Hope, and that was the biggest snowfall this winter since late December. And today's snowfall also produced the very best of Minnesota nice.
A Champlin man used social media to help people in a jam during the snowfall. Here's Sonia Goins.
You might call Brian Tomerdahl and his buddy Dean snow angels. The duo loaded up supplies and set out to help complete strangers.
You know, it's March, and you kind of look at it as the last snowfall and the last chance to help your neighbor.
This act of kindness all started with a Facebook post. Brian offered to clear the driveways and walks of seniors or people with physical challenges.
Exposing the fact that one person could do it, how many more can? And that's what caught fever on Facebook.
His first stop was to the home of Chris Moxness.
Messaged him and said, we're not exactly seniors, we're not exactly permanently disabled, but we're temporarily in a mess right now.
She really could use a helping hand. Chris's husband has heart problems, and she was in no shape to do it herself.
I was in a car accident Sunday night. I offered to pay him. I just would like to have it done. He said, I'll just come and do it for free.
Brian didn't hesitate to help. With a smile on his face, he cleared the long driveway. And Dean shoveled snow off the steps.
If everybody would help out, things would be a lot better than what's going on right now.
Chris was very grateful for the kindness of strangers.
That was really incredible. I did not know he was going to have helpers, and he just jumped right in and did it.
Brian says he didn't do it for the attention.
We don't necessarily do it because it makes us feel good. We do it because it's right. And because it's right, hopefully you do feel good.
So sweet, so helpful, very, very helpful.
In Champlin, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
Brian had about 8 homes on his list. He says if more people need help, he is up for the challenge. And also worth noting, many people also offered to assist in clearing the snow as well. The winter weather isn't just impacting roads and walkways, it's also affecting the state's blood supply.
The American Red Cross says in a typical winter, the snow and cold, along with the busy flu season, led to fewer blood donations.
So that's why all the blood drives in the Midwest, right here in Minnesota, are important, because we're trying to make up for that shortfall.
In February alone, the Red Cross says 575 blood drives across the country were canceled because of weather, leading to 19,000 fewer pints donated than normal. While Minnesota has so far been able to meet the needs of hospital patients in our state, the need is ongoing. They are still encouraging people to visit blood drives like the one in Brooklyn Park today.
People don't realize that blood is a perishable product. It's got a shelf life of 42 days. So therefore, we always have to replenish our inventory.
March also happens to be Red Cross Month. For every person who donates a pint of blood, up to 3 lives can be saved.
The Hennepin County Board has passed a resolution that it hopes will help head off a controversial rail connection proposal in Crystal. Burlington Northern and Canadian Pacific are proposing a connection that Crystal City officials say could stop traffic at 4 intersections at the same time. That would make it difficult for emergency vehicles to get through. Hennepin County is supporting legislation that would prohibit railroads from using eminent domain to take land owned by the county if it endangers public safety. A hearing on that legislation is scheduled Wednesday at the state capitol.
A plan to redevelop 17 acres of property in New Hope is still on track despite the discovery of poor soil on the building site. About a year ago, the old Winnetka Learning Center was torn down to make way for 60 homes. The land was sold to a developer, but groundbreaking was delayed when the soil problem was discovered. It'll cost more than $500,000 for additional earthwork. The city is negotiating a lower sales price with the developer to help pay for part of that added cost. If that's approved, work could begin this summer.
The open forum at Brooklyn Park City Council meetings usually lasts a few minutes, but that wasn't the case on Monday night. One by one, community members spoke out against the city's ban on amplified music in city parks. The city council approved the ban in January after neighbors complained about music so loud at Oak Grove Park that it rattled dishes in their homes. Still, residents who spoke consider the ban an insult on their culture.
When Brooklyn Park boasts of a highly compact community that respects the values of people from diverse lives, cultures, and styles, to be the first to pass such a law, which is draconian.
Interim City Manager Mike Sable tells 12 News that it's always a challenge to balance the rights of property owners with those that use the parks. He plans to respond to Monday night's comments at the next council meeting. New financial figures released this week show just how big a hit a Golden Valley company took offering plans on the state's online health insurance exchange last year. PreferredOne posted an overall loss of $20 million. The company said those results were caused by about $139 million in losses in the individual market, which included MNsure. PreferredOne had more than half the business on MNsure before it decided to leave the exchange.
There's a new face at Brooklyn Park City Hall who will play a key role in the city's growth. Eric Hansen is Brooklyn Park's new Director of Economic Development and Housing. Hansen comes to Brooklyn Park after 12 years with the city of Minneapolis. With Brooklyn Park poised for new housing and business development in the years ahead, Hansen says he sees his role as one focused on responsible growth.
While we're growing is to make sure that we're stably growing, so that we're not only focused on new developments in areas of greenfields, but we're also looking at making sure that the established neighborhoods and established business districts are still thriving.
And the animal control facility that serves the Northwest Metro now has a new manager. Cassandra Bozer has been at PUPS for 3 weeks. PUPS stands for Pets Under Police Security and is the facility where lost pets are taken until they can either be reunited with their owner or taken in by a rescue group. Bozer says the cold weather means the facility is quieter, so she's had more time to get settled in.
It's going good. It's been kind of slow, which has helped. It helps kind of get in the role a little better, figure out, where things are and how things should be getting done. But it's been going very well.
Bozer is a certified veterinary technician and has worked at several humane societies and vet clinics. Well, we all can get a little cranky losing sleep, and up next, the best way to prepare your kids when you move your clocks ahead this weekend.
And then a little bit later in sports, the Maple Grove girls basketball team gets set for section playoff time.
But first, numbing cold on Wednesday. The wind chill will make it feel like -20. This is the weekend that we'll have to move our clocks ahead 1 hour for daylight saving time.
It means an extra hour of sunlight in the evening, but it also means we'll lose an hour of sleep. As Delane Cleveland reports in today's Health Check, there are things that parents can do now to lessen the impact on kids.
Ooh, there you go. Now you can put all your scales on.
Class art projects give children the opportunity to let their creative juices flow.
You did it!
And at least on this day,
can you make a face on it?
There is nothing fishy about their attitudes.
Good job. It looks beautiful.
However, Monday could be a different story here at Little Newton's Nest Child Care Center.
They might take longer to get engaged in the beginning of their day. They might not be as focused right away.
We can thank daylight saving time and the possible loss of sleep for that.
We kind of dread the Monday mornings.
She's not the only one dreading Monday mornings.
She can be kind of fussy if she hasn't slept.
Danielle Cass has no idea what sort of impact the time change will have on her 2-year-old daughter, Zoe.
This is the first time actually that we're thinking about it because of the fact that it's going to actually affect her. As a baby, it really didn't.
Should I do the green eye?
To lessen the impact and make sure the terrible twos don't emerge,
Let's color it.
the key is to get your kids ready now.
One thing that I recommend to do is if you can move their bedtime up by 10, 15, 5 minutes every night this week, you're going to assist them in the change and decrease the shock.
That said, experts urge parents to avoid the temptation to wear their kids out and hope they get to bed earlier.
I think you're going to pay for it in the long run. You're going to see they're going to be overly tired, and overtired children are so difficult, to get to sleep, to convince them it's time for bed.
Instead, parents should just stick with the normal bedtime routine.
To have the same routine is another thing that just helps, ease them into that transition.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
Experts also suggest parents serve up a healthy breakfast on Monday because food signals to the body that it's the start of the day. Maybe it'll help a little, right?
You don't want tired kids,
no,
that's
and
for
hungry.
sure.
Well, if you have never heard of the Great Northern Radio Show, here's your chance to get tuned in.
A little later, we'll explain how that show is coming to you. But first in sports, former Armstrong hockey star is back in Minnesota with the Wild. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back.
I'm Jay Wilcox with sports. He's come full circle. Golden Valley native and Armstrong High School graduate Jordan Leopold is back in his home state after the Wild acquired him at the NHL trade deadline. Veteran defenseman Leopold skated with his new teammates for the first time Tuesday morning at the XL. Leopold was traded by the Columbus Blue Jackets to the Wild on Monday. This will be his 8th NHL team. There's no question coming back to Minnesota was welcome news for Leopold.
It will be pretty nuts. I anticipate there will be quite a lot of friends, family in the crowd. I heard from a lot of people yesterday. I turned my phone off for about 10 minutes, and later I know I have about 150 texts. So anybody that knows me and has my number has contacted me.
A letter his daughter Jordan wrote addressed to the Minnesota Wild coaches but never sent, asking them to trade for her dad because his family misses him, has become national news.
That letter was wrote by my daughter back in January, and it was with anybody that has kids. You guys know they take things upon themselves sometimes, and she was writing a little bit persuasively at school and thought it was a good idea to write a persuasive letter. So I woke up this morning and there's the letter. Carson Daly's reading the letter on the Today Show, and we've been contacted by everybody to get my daughter on TV and whatever it is. But
it is expected that Leopold will be in the Wild lineup tonight, Tuesday, against Ottawa at the XL Center. The girls' basketball playoffs heat up this week. After getting a piece of a conference title, Maple Grove is hoping to make some noise in the playoffs.
Just under 3 blocks per game.
The regular season is in the books. With it comes a trophy for the Maple Grove girls after they tied Park Center for the West Division Championship in the Northwest Suburban Conference.
Feels great. We've only had one other in school history, I think, and Park Center is a really good team to share it with. They're a great team, so it's kind of an honor, but would have been nice to have it ourselves.
I think it's like an honor just to win conference championship, even whether I don't even care that we have to share it because it still counts, right?
The Crimson start the postseason Wednesday in Section 5-4A, where they are the number 3 seed. Their quarterfinal opponent is Wayzata, a team Maple Grove handled rather easily in December. They know the Trojans are a better team now and can't be taken lightly.
But their little number 12 didn't play. That's that little 8th grade point guard that they have, who's a really nice player. And if you watch that game, we hurt them a little bit with our full court pressure, and that we know that this time around they've got a kid on the floor that you can clear out and let her go one-on-one, and she can handle that.
A number of teams look like possible contenders to win Section 5. Maple Grove has an idea what it'll take for them to be in that position.
I think we definitely need to rebound better than we did on Friday night and take better care of the ball. 2 big keys.
The big part is defense and also maintaining composure and just letting the trip be in the past and play hard every new trip down the floor.
We have the pieces. We've got shooters, we've got kids that can defend, we've got some kids that can score inside. We've got pieces that can compete. We just got to kind of clean things up a little bit.
Now's the time to put it all together for Maple Grove. Maple Grove hosts Wayzata Wednesday night at 7 at Osseo Junior High. The 5-4A semifinals are Saturday evening at Anoka. If both teams win Wednesday, Maple Grove would face arch rival Osseo in the semis. Well, the Hopkins girls are the number 1 seed in Section 6-4A. That section starts play Tuesday night. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, John Jacobson profiles Royal senior T.T. Starks. Here's a bit of what you'll see.
She's the ultimate player in terms of she's got a tremendous work ethic and very high basketball IQ. She's a warrior. She just gets after it. She's not afraid of anything or anyone.
I feel like in the game of basketball, you have to play hard, but you also have to play smart. You know, you have to know when is a good time to foul, when is a good time to take a shot, when is a good time to, you know, pass, to kick, you know, things like that. So I think you have to balance those when you're playing.
TT also serves as a role model to the Royals' younger players, showing them how to play what she calls the Hopkins way.
Catch the rest of the T.T. Stark story and more on this week's Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 on Channel 12. And boy, she's a great basketball player.
All right, thanks a lot, Jay.
You're welcome.
Well, here's a great way to improve your business and hone your leadership skills. The North Hennepin Area Chamber of Commerce is offering a 13-week leadership academy. More than 30 community leaders will offer their insights, and the weekly sessions start this Friday.
It's not just for new managers or those who'd like to be. It's for people who are operating businesses and they need to brush up on some techniques. You know, a lot of folks will get into business and they know how to do one thing really well, but the other things drive them crazy. And we want to provide some sales and marketing techniques and social media techniques and finance.
The Leadership Academy is open to everyone. For more information, you can visit nhachamber.com. Up next, Brooklyn Park, probably like you've never seen it before.
The Great Northern Radio Show strives to put the city in a new light when we come back. Finally, life on the Iron Range takes a detour to Brooklyn Park.
The Great Northern Radio Show will unearth the history and the culture of the diverse suburb. The traveling radio show is broadcast live everywhere it visits. While it normally sticks to northern Minnesota, this is its first stop in the Twin Cities. The show follows a Prairie Home Companion style format, though the show's creator, Aaron Brown, takes a different approach by having real people tell real stories about where they live.
So he's gotten several people here in Brooklyn Park and at the college to discuss their life here in Brooklyn Park and what it means to them, how the college has changed their lives and how living in Brooklyn Park has affected them. And a lot of Brooklyn Park residents obviously are immigrants too. So he has several immigrants who've come here and talk about their success in coming to the United States and specifically to Brooklyn Park.
The Great Northern Radio Show takes place from 5 to 7 Saturday at North Hennepin's Fine Arts Center. You can get free tickets to see it, but reservations are recommended, and you can also hear the show live in the Twin Cities on Jazz 88. We will have more details on our website. That is 12.tv. Neat opportunity.
That should be really interesting.
Yeah, a live radio broadcast.
Radio show right in front of you.
That's right.
Cool.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Community Corner is coming up next. We'll see you again tomorrow.